coffee where you will be perked up.
And be perked up.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something to say, like, 'cause it's called perked up, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't think too hard on the name.
Does mine need to be that low?
Yeah, I mean, you're good how you are right now.
Is that good right there?
As long as it feels good to you.
Feels good to me.
All right. Is that camera tilted? That thing looks like, boy, she's on Mount Olympus right there.
She's had a couple. Smoked a couple doobies.
Mary Catherine, it's like this, and he's. Oh, there we go. She looks straight as ever.
It looks straight from over here, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Straight as an
She's
arrow.
on over there. Dude, how are you feeling?
Man, we're feeling good. Coming right off the world's hottest chocolate bar / world's hottest espresso shot. After a little drumstick ice cream and a little whole milk, I'm feeling pretty good now.
I need my whole milk. That was wild.
How are you feeling?
Well, it's obvious that I was the short end of the stick when it came to the two of us. I mean, you finished the whole thing. We still got it on the tape.
Ooh.
Dude, it still hurts. Well, I mean, we're not, 10 minutes removed?
Oh, yeah, if that.
Even.
It still hurts. The spice, I think it was pretty, it wasn't manageable. I'm more concerned with just the internal damage.
Yeah, what's to come?
What's to come? We're 10 minutes off, so it's unknown.
Tonight might get interesting.
Do you feel like internally you're okay right now?
I feel like I'm okay right now.
You're okay right now?
But, you know.
I got a little.
I'm definitely, like, not trying to go, like, eat anything or, you know, anything like that. Just trying to maintain.
Maintain. I got to drive to Atlanta here in a little bit, and that
sounds not fun.
Well, I'm hoping since we're staying a little bit later that the traffic will have diluted just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Dude, don't matter what time you go through Atlanta nowadays. It could be, the only time I found it to be halfway decent is like 2:30 in the morning.
That is true.
But like any other time, you try to get there like 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, people are trying to get to work, trying to beat the rush before work, so they're out. You try to get there 7 o'clock. Well, people are waiting for the 5 o'clock traffic to die down. So you know,
that's what I do Monday mornings, though.
Does it work out pretty good?
Oh, I leave at about 4:45 or 5.
Yeah, that's what
here.
people do. Yeah, like for like a normal job that starts at 8, 9 o'clock, they'll leave at 5 to get there early so they miss the traffic. You know, but it's like. Yeah, it's Atlanta for you.
It's Atlanta for you.
Try to get around it if I can, but you know.
Yeah, I will say though, man, you've always you're doing your thing. You're taking care of business with the company, but you're always Mary Catherine and I literally made posts about this, where you're the one that's always willing to be on camera doing the fun stuff.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Am I?
Yeah, we made multiple posts about it, talking about it on pod and everything like that. It's like,
I gotta check it out.
Who comes to mind with the company? It's like, yeah, Ben might have the most kind of like internal of the jobs in a sort of way, but you're always the first at bat to, put on a Santa costume or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, maybe just because I'm ready to get out from behind the computer, and do something besides crunch numbers and type on the computer. Gets kind of taxing, if one might say.
When early on at Z-Veins, because you're one of like the OGs, like first two. I guess you were second. It was before Carter Varga was here.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah, but like right before Carter.
Yeah,
not much farther, but yeah, it was kind of that, and then Carter came on like that semester, not even a month.
Yeah,
a month later.
Almost the same time, basically. But was there a time like early on in the company you were doing like wildly inefficient things where you're like, boy, I can't wait to the day where I can just sit behind the computer and just like log this stuff? Because you knew you were going to do accounting at that time, right?
Not when I first came on with Z-Beans. I mean, I was
okay.
Yeah, I was fresh out of high school, about to be a freshman at Mercer when I met Shane, and we just came out of. We were just at the gym before school started shooting hoops, and the law students were on one side playing like a game of basketball, and Shane was on the other side just shooting a basketball by himself, and I was like, I'll just go over there and shoot with him, and, just pick each other rebounds, and one thing led another, start talking, and he asked if I wanted to work out, and it's like, sure, I need somebody to help me stay accountable, and started working out in the mornings, and then one thing led to another, and he's like, hey, I just started this coffee company, we need some help. You want to help? And I'm like, well, I don't know anything about coffee. Never drank it, but he was a good dude. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll help you out. So, no, I didn't know I wanted to do accounting. Like, I knew I wanted to be in the business school and knew accounting, finance, something in that realm. because I enjoyed math, good at numbers, just kind of clicked. I kind of had the idea, but I didn't know like, hey, this is what I was going to do for the, what was a career, or, what I was going to do with Z-Beans. But early on, there was a lot of highly inefficient things we're doing. I mean, we roasted coffee out of a popcorn popper. That's highly inefficient.
Yeah.
And then we got it outsourced and roasted, and then I would have to schedule it with my classes. I would leave at like my 3 o'clock class or 2:30 class as soon as I got done, and I would drive to Duluth and back because we had coffee and was getting roasted. I would take green coffee with me, pick up the roasted coffee, drop off the green coffee, and drive it back during that rush hour traffic in Atlanta. And I could not wait till we were done with that because that was every Monday.
Every Monday.
It was just something I did, and just I would do that, and then Shane and Carter would keep knocking out orders, and so that was, I think, that drive. Getting the coffee outsourced. When we finally got the roaster and we roasted in house, it was like, oh man, this is nice. I don't have to go Mondays. Well, we quickly outgrew that Monday. It wasn't, you just couldn't, everything we needed roasted couldn't just be done on Monday. It had to be, you know what I mean? Like there was more. So it was good. That was highly inefficient. I was glad. And to be honest, man, like some good memories came out of when we did the farmers market down here at Mercerville or Tappan Square Park. We did that, and that was fun. Some good core memories down there. Like we meet Doc. That's where we met Doc. We had a lot of our early on, followers of Z-Beans. That's where we met them. But that became highly inefficient too. And I was glad to be done with going to the markets to sell coffee. But at the time, that's all we knew in the market to sell because we didn't have a coffee shop. Like it was early on when we were just selling. Like I remember our goal being if we could sell 10 bags a week of coffee, we had a good week. Then it became, okay, can we sell 5 bags a day? Can we sell 10 bags a day? And like if we sold 10 bags in a day, we were like, man, like we did something.
That was like your Black Friday, boy?
Oh yeah, it was like, we had a great day.
Yeah, I mean,
we sold 10 bags of coffee.
Yeah, we're all gonna be able to retire here in about 10 years.
No more broke days.
Yeah, boy.
But
isn't it crazy how I've mentioned it briefly on the shows, like. I've been, not a part of Z-Beans, but I've been, an outside looking in for about like the first 4 or 5 years of the company. And then the past 2, I feel like my skill set got good enough to where I could actually provide some value in a sort of way. Mm-hmm. But I've always been around the company. So I've seen you guys grow and, live together during that time. And it's so funny how you are in the moment of, like building something and it's like, it's pretty rough or whatever. And you're like, man, like I can't wait till we just get to this milestone. Then you get to the milestone, you realize like, for one, I'm going to have another milestone that I'm looking towards that feels, the exact same. But 2, like, man, that was actually kind of fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or that milestone was not as fulfilling or led you to the outcome that you thought you were going to have once you reached it, Mm-hmm. So it's always.
Wasn't was Mercer Village kind of like that? Huge when Mercer Village first opened? Was that kind of like the big moment? Yeah,
that was a huge milestone for us. I mean, we thought that at the time, me, Shane, and Carter thought that, and Shane started the company thinking that he could, wholesale green coffee beans and just sell them to roasters or sell them to other people with coffee shops, and that was going to be the way we moved a lot of green coffee, and we were the main, going to try to be the main importer of only Ecuadorian coffee, and that was going to be the way Z-Beans. It was going to be Z-Beans coffee, and that's what it was, importer and wholesaler. And we thought our way of doing that was green coffee. Mm-hmm. And then we realized that it's going to take a lot of time. It's not going to be quick. And you got big players in the game that sell green coffee at a lot lower price than you can, So it's
especially if you're trying to treat the farmers right.
Right, yeah. If you're not trying to chip the farmers, So it's like, all right, well, how else can we move roasted coffee, at a high clip? Coffee shop. And I was like, oh, shoot. Okay, well, we had no intention of wanting to getting in the coffee shop game or running a coffee shop, but it was a way that we can move coffee at a higher clip, and then which means we can buy more coffee from the farmers and, kind of trickle down and provide what the mission of Z-Beans was. And so, yeah, but I think definitely the first shop is always a big milestone for us, and really had no idea what we were doing, but we knew this is how we wanted to get coffee out quick, and here we are 7 years later, and Yeah, but
Coming up on that 10-year, boy. That's crazy.
that's wild, dude. That's wild.
10 years
That also
of it?
means too that's like come on my 10-year like high school graduation too.
Yeah. Are you going to that?
No, probably not.
I'm not going to that
Yeah,
either.
sorry.
I don't keep up with my high school friends.
Sorry, Mountain Sales. I'm not coming back to 10
Nah.
years.
Sorry, Stratford.
You got my money when I went there, but
Yeah.
in my time. But yeah, no, the first one was definitely a big milestone. I mean, that was a lot of just like anticipation, but also a lot of figuring out, a lot of trial by error. Because I never ran a coffee shop, never managed a coffee shop, didn't even know how to pull a shot of espresso.
Yeah.
You know, I knew how to ground coffee and make a pot of coffee. But I didn't know how to pull a shot of espresso.
Yeah.
You know? So Shane and Carter definitely took that on kind of headstrong, and because I was still in college, so they had more availability and ability to do it. But yeah, it was a big milestone for sure. Like I remember, I can think back to that, and, like because it was my sophomore year when it happened, and it'd be like, dang, it's pretty cool. You know, especially right here where we all went to school. Like
Yeah.
you know, it was pretty cool.
Stomping
Pretty cool moment.
grounds.
Yeah.
Then just to give the viewers some context too, is that you're the CFO of the company right now. So you always had to have been doing like you're doing higher level accounting now, but at the
Yeah.
beginning you're doing like QuickBooks. Did you always like manage the QuickBooks and stuff like that, or did Shane have a conversation early on like, dude, I need help with all this?
Not to begin with. When we first started, we had accounting, a CPA kind of doing our books for us and getting us set up and doing that. So I didn't do that at the beginning. Like I said, I didn't come in knowing I wanted to do accounting. But once I knew I wanted to do accounting by my sophomore year, and then started interning and realized like how to use QuickBooks and stuff. I think it was we did 2 years with this CPA, and then Shane's like, damn, why don't you just do the book? So it was really general basic bookkeeping work to begin with, and then as I progressed and got more proficient in accounting, and I went and worked for a CPA firm for a couple of years and did tax accounting and learned all that. And then it was kind of like when I came back full time to Z-Beans, because I've always been part time with Z-Beans, and working.
I don't know if a lot of people know that too. Like everybody, you're fine to cough. You go ahead and get it out. You're good.
I was waiting for him to stop talking.
Do you need some milk?
No.
I got some whole milk. Dude, I have the weirdest
Got
drink
milk?
I got some weird drink combinations. I got some
Can you
electrolyte.
use that Baja scooter over there?
Oh boy, you got a Baja Blast?
I know, it's crazy. I got this Element sparkling electrolyte water going on, and then I've got some whole milk. I would be drinking maybe some Z-Beans if we didn't just assault ourselves with the spiciest chocolate bar on the earth.
But good shot of
Before
espresso.
It
I
was-
mean, maybe not so much on the chocolate.
I
side.
didn't really taste the espresso, believe it or not, Ben. I wasn't really focused on the coffee in that moment. I was fighting demons that I didn't know I had, boy.
What were you gonna say though? Not many people realize what.
What was I going to say? Because you were talking about the accounting firm. That's when we lived together.
Yeah.
That was a crazy time. It felt like we were all working like 11 jobs. I remember what I was going to say. I don't think a lot of people realize. Sorry, you're the one that you're the one that coughed and abruptly stopped my train of thought. But I need some whole milk, anyways. It's good milk. A lot of people don't realize that you guys weren't full time right off the get. Like everybody was doing like 30 jobs starting Z-Beans. I think that's like a preconceived notion too. When you start a business, everybody's like, I want to start this business and be full time and like support family. Like, no, you got to be scrappy for like 5-10 years before.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to, unless you have a bunch of like cash like in reserves, to be able to put towards operating expenses. Like hard to pay yourself. I'd say a good wage plus trying to grow a business. I mean, a lot of startup costs, a lot of operating expenses, and stuff you didn't want to. I mean, the only person I'd say that didn't do it part time would have been Shane and Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Shane was, from the jump, all in. Z-Beans was his way he made a living. Carter, he was part-time during school, which is that 1 year, and then he graduated. But then he did his master's, but he was Z-Beans full-time. Like, he didn't have another job. Like, it was all he knows is Z-Beans. That's the only job he's ever had. So he was all in, never had a part-time job. But he did, like, a master's, and then Z-Beans while he was doing the master's. Mary Catherine, same way. I guess she worked with business school and stuff.
3 jobs.
Oh, Mary Catherine had 3 jobs, sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, and then Max never had another job. He did football.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he stopped doing football, that's when he came on Z-Beans. So, like, Z-Beans kind of been he never had another job outside. Like, part-time stuff. But when he was with Z-Beans, part-time, full-time, like, he was full Z-Beans. But, yeah, I did a couple jobs. I did a couple jobs in college while I was doing Z-Beans just to make some money, because I agree with Shane. Like Shane's like, I can't afford to pay you. Like especially in the growing stage of starting. I'm like, that's fine. I'm in college first. That's my job first, and then I had part-time other jobs on top of ZBeans just to make some other income. But yeah, I did a little bit of everything and just make some money. And when I graduated, it was kind of like ZBeans didn't really have a full-time accounting job worth of work or be able to pay. So I went to an accounting firm for 2 years, and so when I did that full time, and then after I got that, I came to ZBeans and did the accounting and bookkeeping work, and then 2 years later, it's like, all right, Shane was knocking down my door saying, Ben, I need you back full time, and so worked out.
While you're at the accounting firm?
Yeah.
He just realized he couldn't keep up?
Well, yeah, no, or I couldn't keep up because I was still doing the bookkeeping and accounting, but I couldn't do high-level accounting. Like, all I could do just to keep up with the bookkeeping, and then
because you were coming in after you finished your 9 to 5.
I would work. I'd get in the accounting firm like 7:30, 8, work till 5:00, 5:30, and then as soon as I got off there, I'd come to the ZBeans, kind of work 3-4 hours every day after work, and so it was. And then it was like Shane's like, all right, Ben, like we gotta have you back full time. So
I don't know how much you can disclose with this stuff too. So just let me know if we need to skip something or edit something out. I'm fine to do that. But did he have like a specific reason that he was like, I need you back? Is it just like the company was growing really rapidly and he was scared messing with the other high level accounting stuff, or was it like we got to think bigger picture here?
No, because we still had a CPA, but it was more of like day to day, like projections, future plannings. Like Shane learned it and did good, but he's like he couldn't. If he wanted to continue to grow the business, he had to be the one to do that. He couldn't. There wasn't enough time of the day or capacity for him to do both.
Yeah.
He was like to give it a fair shake at it. He's like, I can't do both really well. I mean, I taught him stuff he learned on his own and learned from the CPA and like did some stuff to get us by. But he's like, if you're going to grow this business, maybe focus on growth. I can't do growth and finance and accounting. So kind of like, all right, I need you back now.
Yeah.
So,
we're all buddies. Like, we all hang out together. But what's one thing that you guys like butted heads on?
That me and Shane have?
Yeah.
Like in general or with the business?
No, with the business. Like, we're all buddies. Like we all love each other, and it's a good time usually all the time. But then again, it's business, and like doesn't matter how much you're best friends with somebody, you're not gonna agree with everybody.
I'd say we've really butted heads on. Me and Shane have 2 different personalities. I'm more like thorough thinking, like make rational business financial sense, and more risk adverse, like I'm willing to take chances as long as they're smart, like chances they're going to have some type of gain. Like I don't want to do zero-sum gain, or like if we're going to do it and put money into it, time into it, let's make money, let's make a return off of it, whereas Shane is like less risk adverse, like take a shot, let's go do it. Like, have you thought about this and this and this? It's like, I don't care, let's go, I want to go do it, let's go do it. And like, always trying to pump the brakes. So I'd say just our personalities, and not a bad thing, but like, it's early on, it's like, I think it's what we got to do, let's go do it. It's like, well, have you thought about this and this? Like, no, I just need to go do it. It's like, so we kind of butted heads, I'd say, just because the personality is a little different. He's less risk averse, I'm more risk averse. And, but it's become a good, healthy relationship where we, go back and forth, bounce ideas, and we kind of check each other both, me being like less risk adverse or more risk adverse, him being less. It's a good balance now, and now we know how to like, okay, I hear you, but let me make sure this makes sense, or hey, like, the thing's a good idea. We've got to run some numbers. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's check. It's been a good balance, but definitely early on there was a lot of growing pains where we're like, all right, Shane, that's a good idea. It's like,
is there like a case study that comes to mind where you're like, what was he even thinking, or like what were we even thinking?
Well, I mean, there's probably some, but it's also too like you're a small business, like. Small business growing. We're both young. We're all young. Everybody's in our 30. Like nobody's ever ran a business, so like you're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna take shots, and you're gonna throw something against the wall, and it may not stick most times. So there's a lot of cases where everybody like you're trying to figure it out as you go. So you want to try to make the best calculated like risk and something that you think is gonna work. But at the end of the day, you don't. For us, it's like you don't know if it's gonna work until you try, because none of us have ran a business before. None of us have ran a coffee shop before. None of us have ran a coffee business. And nobody on the team was older than 30, or at the time, 26 when we started, or even older than 22, because everybody was 22, they're graduating.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, like, and we didn't have anybody on the team or like mentors that ran coffee shops to be like, hey, like, oh yeah, you ran a coffee shop. What should we do? It was all just like, I think this is a good idea. Let's go do it. And it's like, okay, sounds good. Let's go do it. So it was like more of like trying to do that. I 100% called the one in Kentucky. We opened up a store in Kentucky. I'm like,
Give people context of that.
I don't even.
That's some Z Beans lore right there.
It's like a tobacco barn, kind of like a.
I don't even remember. I mean, I was still like working at the accounting firm, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of got thrown on my plate, and
that we were opening a shop in Kentucky.
yeah, and I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. And Shane's like, yeah, it's of course it does. It's like past Chattanooga. Like I'm like, this doesn't even sound good. Like this doesn't even make sense. Like this sounds like way off the distance, And I was like, all right, like that's what you think, like because like I don't have the time to go in there and see all this stuff, but like, I mean, you say it's gonna be good. All right, let's take a shot, So that was definitely one that we bounced or threw against the wall that did not stick in. For good reasons.
It more like splatted.
Yeah, it was kind of like this is way outside of our like even thoughts of distribution. Like this is gonna be tough to even get product up there, without shipping it. So anyway, yeah, that didn't work out, but it's all for the better.
Did it's crazy.
You live and
just-
learn,
Yeah.
Max move.
Max move.
Max move
Oh yeah, Max.
for the shop in Kentucky.
He moved to Kentucky.
He moved to Chattanooga.
Oh yeah.
He was doing,
yeah.
well, he was
I
doing
remember
business
that.
development too at the time. He was in wholesale. He was sales.
Yeah.
He was trying to
I
grow
remember
that wholesale sales. So yeah, it's a
I think that was right around the time where I started coming on. It's
yeah.
like the
And we lived together during that time.
Yeah.
That was
We
good
lived together.
times.
So that was like probably maybe like within 6 months of coming on here and doing stuff. Did the hospital model seem good to you when you first got that brought up?
Yeah, it sounded like a good idea to me. I mean, just because we operated Mercer Village, by the time we got to Piedmont, the first hospital, it was like 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a year in to owning Mercer Village, because Mercer Village opened in 2018, and then 2019 was Piedmont. Sounded like a good idea to me. I mean, people are trapped, or not trapped, but they're in this facility waiting on loved ones. They really don't want to leave to go get food or drinks, and it sounded like a great idea to me, And unlike a college where people go home for 2-3 months or during breaks during the year, this hospital's open year round, So I was like, sounds like a good idea,
It's got to be cheaper to open one of those up. I mean, you're the finance guy, so like it
then
seems
a brick
like
and mortar and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I would say from a cost standpoint it is, but also too, you got to think about there's a lot more contracts that have to go into place. There's a lot more, you have to fight some bureaucracy. Like it's like if you want to go open a brick and mortar, you can go, if you have the money, the cash, you can go open one up tomorrow. You can buy a building, you can buy property, you can pay contractors. But so it's like it's a lot. There's not as many hoops to overcome if you have the cash or the money to finance a brick and mortar. You can go buy a previous one, or you can buy a building that was something else and turn it into a coffee shop. But for the hospital model, it may be less startup cost, but it's definitely, there's a lot more hoops to run through. Like you can't just go in there and be like, hey, I want to be a coffee shop in your hospital. And they're like, okay, can you start tomorrow? Like it doesn't, it doesn't, I mean, obviously even with the brick and mortar, it doesn't work like that. But if you have the cash, at least you can go purchase it.
Yeah.
Whereas like coffee shop, it's pretty tough to get into. There's a lot of hoops and bureaucracy. You gotta be connected and kind of know how to play the game. So it's definitely, from a cost standpoint, it's not as much, but it's definitely, there's a lot more hoops you have to jump through and bureaucracy you have to fight to get to those hospitals.
So Mercer Village might have been a little bit easier to open as opposed to maybe like the first hospital.
Oh yeah, I mean, because it was already, we purchased, it was a previous coffee shop, Jittery Joe's was what it was before Z Beans. It was basically a turnkey coffee shop.
True.
Yeah, we retained all the equipment, stuff like that. We changed up some of the products in there, but it was pretty much a turnkey coffee shop. Already the table, already the furniture. It was, all we do is change out some branding, some signage, and boom, Z Beans coffee shop. Point of sale system, stuff like that. But so it was pretty much turnkey, and then also too, like it was pretty easy to get into and things like that, because Z Beans Coffee was created from a Mercer on Missions, so it was a good story for them. For Mercer, they could sell it, sell the Mercer on Missions and how it a student created a business out of, going on one of these mission trips, and then so it was very backed and supported by Mercer. But it was that one was easy just in general because you bought a turnkey coffee shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that must have felt like when you guys opened that, it's like, boy, like we're going to the moon here.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, we did it.
Whoa! SB,
We did.
come here, boy. Dude,
I poked my ear in and I heard you say something that I could do that too, so that's why I did it.
Did you get you some of this, boy?
Hey, that's all you.
that spice, man. Oh, that sent me
Hey,
to
look,
another.
look right here, finished.
Dude, that sent me
Oh,
to.
yeah, drink the rest of that one.
Here, take a little licky.
C squared advantage.
Take a little
Give
licky.
me a little scooter brown of that.
Hey,
Dude, you better here
Wait.
get this milk ready here. Hey, whatever
Hold on,
you do
hold
though,
on.
do not put it on your tongue. Like
Hold
do
on.
like cupping. Let it go to the back of your mouth.
I'm all right.
You want some of that?
No, I'm good.
You good?
It's hot though. But
Spicy in it.
thing's sitting, boy.
Hey, guess what? There's 12 bars. We did two tabs per espresso. So
Really?
there's still 8 left in here.
dude, that sent me to the shadow realm. It was bad.
Y'all drank the whole thing?
Yeah,
I didn't get through
did.
the whole thing.
His whole
I got
thing,
about
yeah.
2/3.
It's hot. I feel it in my stomach.
I know.
Dude, yeah. It
Bro,
like
I
gets
was-
in your chest, boy.
I was in here season up. It was rough.
I think it's gone now though.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm
It's-
good.
it's
You'll
well
feel
done.
It's
little
like
bit.
some hot wings, which I've hammered many.
Oh, we
feel
are
a little-
talking to the guy that pizza rolls in the freezer. So.
Okay.
Uh,
Pizza rolls in the freezer.
C Squared told us that early on, and we were living all in the same house, and it's just something we never forgot.
Yeah.
That is wild.
It's crazy that we all live together.
Oh, dude, that was
Make
a
fun.
wild time.
Make fun of each other.
What was your best memory out of that house? Because it had to have been all 5 of us.
How many was there? There was me, you, Shane, Carter. Yeah, 5. Tyler.
Yep, Tyler.
Yeah.
What was a memory you have from that?
A bunch, man. Like it was fun, just coming home and like
Oh yeah, that's
like
great.
all the boys were, everybody was like there was usually like 1 or 2 of us helping cook dinner. The other 3 were playing, some type of Xbox or virtual reality, whatever C Squared brought home that day, and it was just good times, man. Like I look back on those times and it's like I don't think there was ever a bad day. I mean, sure there were. I'm sure something happened, and people were angry or something, but like I don't remember ever there being a bad day. It was just full of life, and we always found something to
Yeah.
just come up with and have had fun, and it was a good mix of Tyler Warnock, he was my college roommate, and one my best friends, he lived there with us because we were still in college at the time, and you were there, and then Shane Carter, Varga
Yeah.
CB, so it's kind of like for me it was like a mix of like friends, which we were friends outside of too,
Yeah.
and work, but it was I don't know, there's a bunch of good memories from there, just
It was like what, almost 2 years, 18 months, something like that.
I think it was just a year, wasn't it?
I don't know. I can't remember. Why am I looking at you like you know?
Because we-
yeah, I know how long you were
Because
there.
Kay, Shane's wife, lived there before us.
Yeah.
And then she moved for med school, and then that's when we got the lease. But I think it was only for a year because that's when me and you went to Barrington right after that.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, man?
And that was my last year of college, was when we lived in 1266 Appleton.
I vividly remember this. The first time I went to Cleveland Avenue.
Really?
I went there. I went there around March of 2020 because we were having a dinner. Kay and Shane offered to have dinner because we were about to start moving in to that place, and I vividly remember having dinner, and it was like a week after COVID started, and Shane didn't know like what was going on or like what to do about it, and I remember sitting at that table. Because I obviously wasn't working at Z-Beans at the time, so I was worried about, like, how's my video production stuff going to do.
Right.
But, dude, I couldn't imagine, like, those conversations y'all were having with all that stuff going on.
Oh, it was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild when COVID happened.
Because it was, what, 3 shops at that point?
We had 20.
It would have been Piedmont or Coliseum at the time.
No, we had 4 at the time.
Mm.
We had Mercer, Piedmont, which was Coliseum at the time, downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And St. Francis. We had to shut St. Francis down.
Mm.
St. Francis was new. It was pretty a new development. But there was only at the time 3 management people: me, Carter, and Shane. And it was one of the times where like we were still that necessity business that they deemed necessity, so we could stay open. It was only takeout or drive-through only, which we didn't have takeout, but I mean drive-through, but we could do takeout. And then for the hospitals it was weird too. But I remember vividly because I was still in school at the time too. Schools, sent us home, and had to zoom in, and we each took all employees to go home. Didn't want them to get catch the virus. But we all took a shot. Me, Shane, and Carter every day, Monday through Friday, and we ran it by ourselves. Whatever we could do, just to keep the doors open, and just keep some type of revenue coming in. And it was wild, man. It was a wild time. We all took a shop, ran it. Some days we'd switch who got what shop, just kind of change it up a little bit. But it was a crazy time. I remember doing Zoom and like telling my teachers like, hey, if I have to step away from computers, not because I'm doing things, because I'm running the coffee shop, making sure it stays open if a customer comes in, So it was wild times. It was kind of like the Wild West. It was pretty wild.
That's scrappy, man.
It got scrappy. Yeah, there's a saying in Lonesome Dove where I think Gus or Woodrow looks at Gus and it's like, well, Gus, it's time to figure out if we're meant to be cowboys. I feel like during that time of our lives, it's like, all right, boys, well, time to figure out if we're meant to own a business, run a business or be a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Here we go. Let's see what we can do. But it was wild times. You look back and like in the moment you didn't really realize what was going on, but now you look back and you're like, holy cow, that was crazy.
Yeah. It's the low moments like that galvanize you to handle the high moments. I'm always very suspicious of somebody that opens a business that within like a year or two is like doing incredible. Now then again, there's always exceptions to the rules.
Right.
But somebody that hasn't gone through a level of difficulty where it's like, oh, the business is 7, 10, 15, 20 years old, you're going to see some things and you're going to experience some down years and everything like that. And so it almost prepares you for the good moments to have like the really low moments. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, I also, too, like, think about opening a business. Young, you don't know what you're doing. You're just kind of learning as you go. And 3 years into opening up the business, 2 years into owning a coffee shop, they tell you, all right, there's this virus going around. Nobody's allowed to leave the house. If you're an essential business, you can stay open, but you can only take out. And your main source of serving people is for them to come down and sit inside the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, imagine like what that does for a small business. I mean, it killed a lot of small businesses in the country, but in Georgia too. And thankfully, Governor Kemp allowed us, essential business to stay open. But yeah, imagine not even just the hardship or the adversity it takes to open your own business and run it, but 2 years in, they're like, okay, the way you make money, we're telling everybody that to stay at home.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shoot, what do we do? What do we do now? And it's just, I mean, literally like any way you could stay alive. Stay like literally just, all right, everybody take a coffee shop, run it from open to close. And,
Yeah.
Anybody comes in there, serve them the best you can, and we just live day by day. Just trying to stay alive. It was wild.
They don't teach you that in school either.
Oh, you can't learn that from a textbook. I mean,
No.
They'll probably talk about it in textbooks to come, like COVID and what it did for the economy and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
until you're in the moment, they don't teach you that. You can't.
When you because obviously was the major accounting that you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Major was accounting.
Okay. And so you majored in accounting, and then you immediately you hopped into working for that bookkeeping company or that accounting firm, and then Z-Beans being the CFO, kind of like head honcho when it comes to anything finance. Was there there had to have been a good bit of financial literacy that translated from school, but was there some stuff that you just were learning off the cuff that somebody in accounting school wouldn't, I don't want to say be prepared for? But
Yeah, I would say from my role, I mean, I do a lot of accounting, but I also do a lot of finance, and I would say the accounting part that I learned in school, and then I did internships with a CPA, and then I did it with the accounting firm that I ended up going to work for a little bit. All that accounting stuff translates. What you learn in school is, you can take it directly and apply it. Now there's some nuances and based on what type of work or industry you're in, like some subtle differences, but like it was directly like what you learned in school, you could translate that and use it in the real world. So that's what I kind of liked about accounting. It was very applicable from textbook to real world. Now, some nuances, some differences. But I would say the finance part of that and projections and like budgeting and stuff like that, I did not, because I was strictly accounting. I didn't really take the finance side of it, and I did not. That was something that I was a little nervous about, and when I took the role, but also like even how to do it. Thankfully, my dad is kind of in that realm, and I could lean on him and ask him questions. But a lot of it was the same thing, like with the coffee shop, trial and error, and trying to figure out what to do. I mean, still learning day by day, but yeah, it was the finance part of that, projection, budget, and all that stuff was not taught to me in school, or I didn't take finance classes. I mean, I took basic finance, like Finance 101 or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
Mercer, but I didn't take more. I didn't take anything past that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they even teach like a business finance class where you literally look at a budget or how to come up with a budget for a business and projections and stuff like that.
No,
So
I don't think
even
so.
in my master's classes, I did a master's in accounting at Mercer, and even that I didn't learn anything about that type of finance for a business. So a lot of that was kind of trial by fire and learn on the job. But like I said, I went for an accounting firm, so I did taxes. Like I did taxes for businesses, estates, trusts, people, individuals. So I didn't even learn. I mean, that was mainly it was accounting. That's kind of all I knew. So finance was something I've had to learn and read about, ask people like my dad and people that I know that's in that world, and kind of bounce ideas off them / learn how they do things. But yeah, I would say that's definitely the accounting part was pretty applicable. I mean, some nuances you had to learn as you go, but that was pretty applicable. But the finance was something that I did not know before stepping in this role, or know how to do well.
Mm-hmm.
Still learning. But
Yeah. I had mentioned a quote a couple episodes back. Dude, are you feeling the spiciness at all?
oh yeah, it's in the back of my tongue.
It's in your tongue.
Yeah.
It's moving. It's moving for me. Yeah, it's moving for me. It feels on the move. There's a stop laughing at that, Mary Catherine. You just get too much fun out of that.
It's easy to laugh when you didn't do it.
Yeah, easy, man. Haters, man in the arena, boy. That's what we are.
Hey man, in the arena.
Speaking of quotes, here's a quote that I mentioned a couple episodes back. It's like I'm kind of paraphrasing it, but a man that works with his mind must play with his hands. You know that quote?
I
Where
don't.
It's like or he must. Mary Catherine, can you like look up the quote exactly?
Let's do a little research here. A little Google.
Yeah. Just need to know exactly what
What's
it
it?
says.
What's it called? The man that what?
A man that works with his mind must relax with his hands or play with his hands or something like that. You see it anywhere?
A little
Okay.
Google search on the pod here.
Yep. I'm not against it. Need a little bit of reprieve.
Oh yeah, the phrase "the man that works with his mind must play with his hands."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it attached to anybody? Can give him credit.
Let's see here.
It's just St. Francis is the only person that's pulling up, but the direct quote is not what. is not
Yeah, I don't see a
All right.
direct quote, but it's something for AI here.
What I was getting at with it is that
This is the full. It's actually a good quote. It's not at
All
all
right.
what you're talking about though.
a man who works with his hand is a laborer. A man who works with his hand and his brain is a craftsman. But a man who works with his hands and his brain and his heart is an artist. Oh, that's good. What I was getting at with that is that CFO stuff is, like you're not. It's pretty mind heavy. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Do you use the rodeos as a way to just completely tamper that, or is
Uh-huh.
there a way that you've like incorporated it outside of rodeos?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would say outside of rodeos, but yeah, rodeo is one of those ways that I do that for sure. Like, I need a reset. I need somewhere to just not think, because I'm always like in my head thinking about stuff, running something and project. Like just always
Mm-hmm.
thinking kind of ahead or about things or trying to analyze it. And yeah, rodeo is definitely one of those ways where I just when I'm there and in that arena, I just turn off.
Yeah.
All I do is react or in the moment. And I definitely get that from rodeo, but also like hunting and fishing, stuff I enjoy to do. It's when you're doing that type of stuff, it's just, yeah, you still like think about things, but it's more of like you're in the moment, just enjoying what the moment brings versus, thinking about, okay, well, I need to do this, this, this. So I need to think about this. So we got this coming up next week. I need to plan. You know, it's like all these planning and thinking, analyzing, you know, moving.
Yeah.
When I do rodeo, hunting, fishing, it's like turn off the brain.
It's full schedule though.
Just do, you know.
You
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You and me are a little similar because we both work on weekends too. I do video production stuff on the weekend. But I think the difference is, after talking with you a little bit, it's like I very much consider mine work on the weekends. I think you're leaning much more towards the play aspect of it, even though it is technically work. You know what I mean?
It's work, you know, for sure. But to me, it's something I love to do, you know, so I don't think of it as work. It's, you know, that saying that, you know, I don't even know what the saying is now, but you know the saying.
The spice is getting to you, boy.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
spice is getting to me. What is,
It's a good saying.
if you
I know
love what you
you're
do, you never work a day in your life, kind of a quote. That's kind of how I think about rodeo. And for me, it's work, and there's hard days, and the travel is, you know, tough. But like when I'm in that arena, like it's all like the world could be falling apart outside, like stuff could be going wrong. But when I'm in the arena, it's like there are no bad days, you know. Like I could be in a bind, but there are no bad days in there. And I don't know, it's just part of it. It's kind of like once you get used to it, it's my happy place. What makes me, you know, what makes me who I am, and kind of makes me tick. You know, it's kind of who I am at this point. You know, but yeah, I mean, it is work. You know, and you know, make money at it, but I don't consider it work. It's something I love to do. Like all these contractors out there don't listen to this, but you know, I do it for free. Like it's something I love.
We'll bleep that out.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Don't bleep that out. But you can't do it for free because you go broke. But no, like seriously, it's something I love to do, and I enjoy doing it. So yeah, I don't consider it work. It is work, but I don't consider it work.
Yeah, what's the because you're a bullfighter, not
That's
a
right.
cowboy. It's two distinct things. I always have to explain it when I'm talking to people because they don't know.
I mean, there's a difference even just being like a cowboy. Like, I mean, yeah, I consider myself a rodeo cowboy. Like I go to the rodeos, and I'm a rodeo cowboy, you know, stuff like that. But like a real cowboy, like the day works, rides a horse, ropes, brands cattle, like takes care of cattle and stuff like that. Like those are tough, resilient men. You know, like I don't like to put myself in that category. You know, because those guys are hardworking, tough, resilient men that like do it, live it, breathe it. You know, I'm just a rodeo cowboy that, you know, goes and does it for the rodeo. But you know, I enjoy the lifestyle. I don't think you have to necessarily wear a cowboy hat and boots to be a cowboy. You know, like there's characteristics of a cowboy that people that never wear a cowboy hat, I consider the cowboy way. You know, and so I'm starting to own a couple cattle, starting to kind of be, I guess, more of a cowboy. But when people ask me, you know, I obviously accept it. But I'm more of a rodeo cowboy. Like I'm a rodeo, and I think I live out what it means to be a cowboy in the rodeo aspect. But I'm not a day worker. I don't ride a horse for a living. I don't rope. I can't rope, and I don't brand cattle and stuff like that. Those guys, they're tough, man. Like you know, it's kind of like a farmer. Like, you know, their income and their livelihood depends on Mother Nature, depends on a lot of external factors that you don't have control of. So those guys are tough. But
what's the difference between a bull rider and a bullfighter?
the main difference is the bull rider is kind of what it says. They ride the bulls, and the bullfighter is the guy that protects them guys. Kind of like I like to explain to the people that don't know much about it. It's like the Secret Service for bull riders. So like Secret Service is for the president. You know, somebody tries to attempt to kill the president, they're supposed to be the ones that step in between the bullet or whoever it may be and take that hit or whatever. Same way with bullfighter, bull rider. Bullfighter is that guy where if like the bull is about to run over the rider or step on them or do anything, they're the ones that's supposed to put themselves in harm's way. And so easiest way to describe it.
If you had to do a percent out of 100, what's the percent that you're walking away with no aches and pains or scratches or scuffs or anything like that from a rodeo?
From a rodeo?
Yeah.
Like from a rodeo weekend or like one night of work or what?
How do you think? Maybe a weekend?
Yeah, you might as well go full weekend.
Yeah, full weekend.
Full weekend without something?
Yeah, 100% being like I never get hurt. 0% being like I'm always going to the hospital.
Oh yeah, definitely not always going to the hospital. And it comes with experience, you know. Like I'd say probably I mean, it depends on too. Like, is it something that's going to put you out of work, or is it something like bumps, bruises, like stepped on? You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I would say if you're talking about just like bumps, bruises, getting aches and pains and stuff like that, shoot, probably. I mean, I would say that's going to happen. You have in a rodeo weekend, probably. I mean, because what we do, probably gonna. I would say, shoot. I'm just trying to think of it rationally. To give you a number, I would say maybe 25% of the time.
25%.
Like, 'cause I would say 75% of the time you're coming away with something.
Yeah.
Like, there may be some weekends where maybe there wasn't a lot of guys entered, or like the bulls were just good, easy going rodeo bulls that have been down the road, know their job. As soon as they buck the rider off or the person rides them, they get out. But like, our job is to be that person that takes the hit, to put ourselves in harm's way, and to get that bull's attention off the rider and onto us, make us an easy target. So, shoot, it's in the rodeo world, it's not if you get hit or hurt, it's when and how bad. You know? So,
are you able to tell when you pull up to the spot and you see the bulls and the pins? Are you able to be like, oh boy?
no, not necessarily, because I mean, it could happen on a bull that's nice or not mean. You know, it's just whatever it's all circumstantial. You know, it's like what happens, how the guy falls off. You know, it's stuff like that. But you definitely know when there's some hotter stuff in the pen. You know, like, all right, we're gonna earn it tonight. You know, so.
Is it just because they're bred that way, or is it a different kind of?
Yeah, some
bull?
are bred that way, and some are just, you know, it's kind of like a human. Everybody's got a personality, a temperament, you know, and some even just love the game of rodeo. They know when they get in that bucket shoot, like it's
Game
time
on.
to play. You know, they enjoy the game just kind of like us. So just depends. But I enjoy when the hotter ones are there. It means I get to do something.
Yeah, it gets the heart pumping a little bit. That's fun.
That's fun. It's a
How
good
many a
time.
year are you capping out at?
Right now?
Yeah, like how many will you do a year? Because when I'm looking at my weekends with work, I can take on about 20 to 25 jobs outside of doing this a year before I start to feel like, woof.
Yeah. I think last year I looked at it. Now, so like, it just depends on how you want to talk about it, like, because
An event, not a weekend.
Yeah,
So I'm
because-
counting one night as one.
yeah, because I'll have right now where I'm at. I have a lot of this just Friday, Saturday night. Sometimes it'll be Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You know, just depending on. But right now, I think last year I did. We call them performances, which is like a performance a night, like one rodeo. You know, there's sometimes 2 to 3 performances. In the big rodeos, there's a lot more, but what I'm doing right now is maybe 2 to 3 performances. A weekend, something like that I go to. I think I calculated last year I did about. I think it was about 85, 90 performances a year. So I stayed gone. I think it was like 35 weekends out of the year.
Man.
30, 37, 35, 37, something like that.
What does the rehab look like for that?
Depends on how bad you get hurt.
Yeah, but in terms of just like maintenance.
Oh, maintenance. Man, just I guess joys of being young. Just sometimes just good ice. I have to go on like physical therapy and get stuff worked on. But mainly just good recovery of ice and working out. But like I'd say maintenance just during the week and stuff is doing a lot of body workouts and then cardio. Doing that about 3 or 4 times a week during the week, and then that helps you maintain and helps you absorb some of those hits. And then good thing is hopefully don't have to go to PT all the time. But sometimes you get some big hematomas or something like that. You gotta get them worked out and stuff like that. So you might go see some PTs. But yeah, if you can stay ahead of it and stay good, it's usually better for you. But
yeah, it might not be the most injured time you've ever been, but has there been a moment where you just got absolutely like thrown or something? You're like, boy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Is there one that comes to mind? Take us back to memory lane.
What was I trying to say? Yeah, anytime you see when you see your feet go above your head, it's not gonna be good. Got a couple of them where next thing you know, like not uncontrollably, but you see your feet go over your head, and you're like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
I took a pretty bad hooking back in 21 up in Alabama. By a Mexican fighting bull, kind of the same type of when they do like running with the Spain.
Yeah,
running with the bulls in Spain kind of deal. That was pretty bad. I knew that was not
It's like
good.
instantly you knew.
Oh yeah, when you get thrown up and you can see them under you waiting on you to come back down, and he pushed me like across the mud, and you're trying to get out but you can't, or he just got you trapped. So
Yeah. Are you thinking, is time slowing down in that moment? Are you like thinking through it, or are you just like full brace for impact, just locking down to wait till it finishes? Because you got other bullfighters that are coming to help you in that moment, but there's also like that bull's on you, so he's.
Man, it's kind of like, it sounds weird. It's kind of like, you think about it, like if you're gonna jump out of a building and land on the ground or land somewhere, you think it's better to tense up or to stay loose?
Stay loose.
Stay loose. Same kind of deal. You just obviously your mind's telling you like, oh, let me get in a ball, let me get feeble position and just take it. But the right thing to do is just stay loose, and when you see your opportunity to get out as quick as possible. That's obviously the easiest way and best way. Like when you're getting thrown up and you see your feet go over your head, like the first thing you want to do is like tense up and brace for impact. But if you just kind of stay loose, sometimes you land on your feet, you land on your butt. You know what I mean? Like just depends on. I mean, obviously you can't always control it, but the more loose the calm you stay in those moments, the better outcome. For me personally, it seemed to have.
Mm-hmm. With something like that too, you've got to be relying a lot on your buddies, because you see your buddies get hit too, and you get hit, and what's it usually like 2 or 3 bullfighters at a time in a pen?
Yeah, mostly 2, and then some events like bigger rodeos and stuff, you'll have 3 PBRs, you'll have 3 and stuff like that, but. Mainly 2 to 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Total guys in there. So you'll have a partner or 2 partners with you.
And there's like, from what I understand talking with you, there's ranks of bullfighting events. There's like your local rodeos that go all the way up to the big leagues. Is that like, that's not the same league, more or less? Like how does
No, yeah, you got like, so you got basically like what they call amateur rodeos. Which is, there's a bunch depending on what area. And then you got one professional rodeo association called the PRCA. And like there's smaller PRC rodeos, medium, and then big ones, And then in the bull ridings, you got open bull ridings. You got, some people be sanctioned. Then you got the PBRs. And then within the PBRs, you got like what they call the minor league or like velocity levels. And you got the major league, which is what they call right now Unleash the Beast. So there's definitely levels to it. It's not just
Unleash the Beast.
Unleash the Beast series. Yeah, it's the top riders, top bulls. So
what's crazy? The first week that I started talking to Catherine, my wife now, that was the week that you took me to your bullfighting practice.
Oh,
you
really?
remember that? That was the first week.
Yeah, you got your little some. You got your little.
I got a little action. I got a little.
You
legs
got
up
in the
air.
mix.
Yeah, I don't know where that video. Well, that video is a couple years ago.
Oh, I think we still got it. We can play that on here.
Yeah,
put that on.
Have you ever seen that video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got.
Carter's experienced the feet going over his head moment.
I did experience that, and I guarantee I was not loose in that moment.
Oh, that's hard.
I was very tight. And it was a small bull too. It wasn't like
it was a calf.
Yeah, it was a calf. Stop laughing.
I mean, it wasn't like a tiny calf, but it was like year and a half.
It wasn't like, yeah. It wasn't.
I mean, it was probably like a year old, like year and a half, like what we call a calf. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem was, you taught me good, but you didn't teach me the speed at which I needed to act on the technique that you taught me.
Oh yeah, I mean,
you slowly walked me through the technique on how to pick a side and where to step to pick that side. And you're very good about the instructions. However, I was not ready for the speed at which the animal comes at you.
That's right.
So I ended up kind of
the first move was good.
The first move was catastrophic. Second move was good.
Second move was good. That's right.
Yeah. Third move was like, I didn't get all the way around. Bull's coming at me. Calf is coming at me. It's got some small horns about the size of this whole milk bottle.
I mean, it's still 600-700 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, it's not huge, but it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't bully it. You're still outmatched in weight.
So I'm looking at it coming right at me, and I'm like, okay, I remember what Ben told me. Boy, it's coming fast.
Well, that was your first mistake. You thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name of this game. It's all reaction, But obviously,
new
guys, kind of hard.
Yeah. First time ever in the pen. Step left, thinking it's going that way. It kind of corrects back to the left. I'm like, oh, go right. Step right. Corrects to the right. I'm like, oh, got to go left. So I'm going left. I kind of hit the Heisman, lift my right leg up. Horns, boom, underneath my leg, right on my hip, just right over the top.
Feet go.
Feet go, and I'm thinking to myself, that bull's under me somewhere. And I'm going to hit this ground, and I got to pop back up quick. Pop back up, took it like a champ.
And then he made a good move when he came back around to
Made
you.
a good move, man. Yeah, I was excited about that one. That was a good.
I was pumped.
I hit the gap really well.
Stepped around him nice.
I stepped around him nice. That was fun, man.
Good
But I'm
time.
sure it's not always fun.
Yeah, I
With-
mean, there's bad days too, but
Yeah. Is the travel the thing that gets to you the most?
I would
'Cause
say
it's
it
a lot of travel.
wears on you the most for sure. I mean, obviously, if you take hits, like it's gonna wear on you, but
Yeah.
man, the all night drives, the sleeping in airports and stuff of that nature, it definitely wears on your body and on you, mentally. But yeah, I think that's probably what wears on you the most. But it's part of it. It's part of the process. You gotta love every part of the process
Yeah.
and the journey along the way. But yeah, I think that the travel and stuff like that definitely wears on you. Obviously, if you take big shots and get ran over and stuff like that, that's obviously going to wear on you. But
Mhm.
I definitely say that it's the traveling, all night drives, and late nights and airports and stuff like that that definitely probably wear on you quicker.
For a bullfighter, what's like considered an old bullfighter?
Man, depends on who you ask and what shape they're in. But I would say somewhere in your late 30s, early 40s.
Okay, so I mean, I can imagine you just riding this thing out until the wheels fall off.
No, yeah, we're riding it out till we
Yeah, boy, that's
Yeah.
what I like to hear.
we're riding it out until I got goals and stuff like that with it that I want
Yeah.
to do with it and want to hit and what I'd like to do with it. But yeah, there's definitely steps to it and riding out as long as the good Lord keeps giving me the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's becoming very apparent, and Mary Catherine and I have talked about this too, that the company's growing, and it's a big blessing. Is there obviously with the company growing grows more responsibility, more tasks to do with that. How do you, as the company grows, how are you managing the expectation of leadership on a company while also doing that? Is it an easy balance for you to maintain and just be like, all right, we're going all gas, no brakes, and just
Right. Definitely, there's some overlap, but the good thing about it is I got a good team under me, and a lot of my stuff is even while on the road, like I could technically do as long as I have Wi-Fi. Like a major of my tasks, so that's not counting on always having to be there. But I got a good team with me and under me that I'm training up and helping me, so it's not just a one-man show. So that definitely takes stress off. But yeah, it's definitely it's a balance. It's a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights, and a lot of good coffee drank in between.
yeah, not this coffee. It was Z-Beans coffee, but it was a little too spicy for my taste.
It just has maybe the world's hottest chocolate bar in it.
Yeah. You keeping that chocolate bar?
No,
You taking that home?
no, that will be returned.
Let's put that in some Halloween trick or treat basket.
Yeah, some unlucky person will actually.
That oil sitting on top.
Actually, got a guy that would love this.
Do you?
Yeah, his name's Dusty Myers. He's
Have I met him? I've come to a few rodeos with you.
Maybe
but-
not. I don't think you met him yet. He's a rodeo clown. Like he tells the jokes. He's funny.
Is that the one that Catherine and I were in the RV with, that one rodeo a year and a half ago?
Might have been.
Remember we were in there?
Yeah.
Because Catherine is very much not a rodeo queen. And she was sitting in there with me, and she's like, how the hell did I end up in this?
Yeah, might have been. Anyway, Dusty really enjoys chocolate, so I may not give him the
Yeah.
branding, but I may just have to slip it to him.
Yeah.
Hey man, I got this really good chocolate bar. You want to try it?
Yeah. Just give him a little square.
That'd be mean. But I don't know.
That would
Hey,
be
he
funny.
kind of brings it upon himself.
I feel like cowboys and bullfighters and everybody mess with each other a pretty good bit.
Oh yeah, you got. I mean,
Especially
all
a rodeo
gotta-
clown.
we got a good sense of humor. Like what we do is, I mean, it's dangerous. Don't get me wrong, but like, definitely got to make light of it and joke around because you can, don't want to be too serious all the time. But yeah, we have a good camaraderie. It's a brotherhood, and
Yeah.
we like to. You can't have thin skin around our group. You gotta have
yeah.
pretty thick skin. We joke and pick on each other a lot, and if we don't joke and pick on you, we don't like you.
Yeah.
So,
What's like the overlap of terms like working with the same people? Are you able to like get a couple guys that you're always, working with and be like, all right, nice? Or is
yeah. It's everywhere I go now. I got a group of guys I usually work with, and it's good. And you got good chemistry and stuff, so it's fun.
That is fun.
But obviously, I mean, the thing too is like it's funny. Like the guys I do work with, none of us. I mean, we kind of live within a couple of hours of each other, but like it's not like we can pack up like, hey, you want to ride? Sometimes we can. We'll ride together, but most times we're all come from different places to a rodeo, so it's not So that's our one time we're together is at the rodeo.
Mm-hmm. When the lights are down, ready to go. That's a fun time to be there too.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I will say I enjoy working for myself. However, I didn't know I was missing it until I came on doing this stuff. It's like it's great to just have like a little bit of camaraderie too.
Absolutely, yeah.
With doing something like that.
Like I said, the traveling wears on you. Sometimes most times you're doing it alone. So it's always it's always kind of a good reset when I get to come here Monday mornings and be with the team, and we all get to check in and ask, see how everybody did for the weekend or whatever we got into, and then just working alongside them. It definitely, I feel like motivates you, but also it's like you're not in this alone. You got people you're working with, the team, and you may make mistakes and have some wins, but you also got a good team to help you with those wins or celebrate those wins or help you with your mistakes or pick you up. So it's definitely good to have a team, a good support system around you, no matter what you're doing.
I can see how it can go the other way too, where it's like, oh boy, I got to go to work on Monday.
Oh,
I gotta be a part of that crew,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Not with us. We don't have that.
No.
But
that was Even's coffee.
Yeah.
It's man, it's who you're working with. Like that makes a difference. Like,
mm-hmm.
do you enjoy the people, your coworkers? Because you got to think about. I mean, most times, for most people, they're spending 8+ hours a day with their coworkers at work. So you dang sure better hope you like them and enjoy spending time around them because you're spending the majority of your days with them. So, it definitely makes a difference.
It does make a difference. And I remember when I first came on, probably within the first year, it became very apparent that Mary Catherine and I have talked about this too. It's like there's only so many times you can say like for an Instagram post, come buy our coffee. It's like you kind of have to start being creative and like coming up with things like this.
Sure.
And it became very apparent, all you guys were in my wedding and stuff like that. It's like we obviously get along really well. You need to kind of brand that with the company, like brand that we're all a team and we're all working together for a common mission and we all get along and it's a great environment and like people get, it's contagious to have a good work atmosphere to like showcase to people and having fun together. And it's like, well, that's a way that we can brand Z Beans Coffee too, is like if it's obvious that we're all getting along very well and enjoying spending time and having fun building this, it's like, well, that immediately translates into a better product at the end of the day.
It's funny, coffee's and just our mode of transportation of the business that we get to do all together. But I tell people all the time, they ask me like, do you enjoy working for Z Beans? Like, absolutely. Like I get to work with some of my best friends every day. I see them every day. I mean, even some of my best friends I live with, so I get to see him all the time. Shout out Max. I get to see him all the time, but it's like, absolutely. And like they're like, well, what do you love about it? I was like, well, we got a good mission, and we're not only impacting people here in the States, but we're for people abroad. Like we're making a difference in people's lives by selling a cup of coffee, but also too, like I get to work with some of my best friends that even if I didn't work with them, I would hang out with them outside of work. So now it's like you're getting paid and you're doing something meaningful, purposeful with the people that you would spend your time with anyway, but now you're getting paid to do it. So it's like a no-brainer, like, duh.
It's
like,
the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and it just makes work enjoyable. No, sure, there are long days, there are bad days. Like,
nobody's
like
impervious to that.
Anywhere, but it's like when you get to work with the people that you would hang out with for free or outside of work, and now you get to work with them, it's like, like the highs are a lot higher and the lows are not as low because you got a good team around you, and you feel like sometimes people that work with people, they don't like connect outside of the work relationship. It's just like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Good. Like, oh, what'd you bring for lunch today? Like it's very like, it's not deep. It's just surface level. But I feel like the special thing we got here is like we're obviously all friends and we get to work with each other, but also too like if something's going on in your personal life, it may be at work and it may not always be the right time to say it, but like people notice and pick up and like they even they may ask you about it, and it's like there's a different level of care and relationships that come when you work with people you enjoy being around. But also, like I said, it's just fun. Like, I mean, there's not fun days, but in the day it's like you may do something you really not want to be doing like that day, or something happens, someone doesn't show up for work, you have to go fill a coffee shop, or like we open up that shop in Ocala, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I'd rather be doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm here with Shane and we're grinding it out, trying to get this coffee shop open. Yeah, it's not the most enjoyable. Yeah, there's long days, and you're tired and it sucks, but it's like you look over and you're like, man, like we're opening up our business, we're opening up a new coffee shop. Me and Shane are down here grinding it out, like ripping out drinks and training staff and doing this. Like,
Yeah.
when you look in the moment, it's like, yeah, some days it sucks and it's like it's long days from open to close in the hospital, but it's like, dang, like there's nobody else I'd rather be doing this with, like than these people.
It's so crazy too. Those are the things that we're gonna miss. You know what I mean? I think that's one reason that I've enjoyed doing stuff with Z-Beans, because I've become very self-aware since not working at Z-Beans, 2+ years ago. It's like I was building my business, but I was building the business to serve me, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I worked for, or my business kind of worked for me.
Right.
It's like, then, I've always been around Z-Beans and I've always enjoyed it. Z-Beans is the first time where it felt like I was serving the business, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes
Z-Beans
sense.
not here to serve me. It's like, I'm here to serve the business. And I think it doesn't matter what aspect of your life, if you're serving something, you're serving your spouse, serving, a friend, you're serving, your parents, a business, something like that, like serving your hobby. Like there's many ways, like pouring into something too is just much more, I've found it being much more gratifying than trying to extract.
That's right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're serving, or you're doing something for a common goal or good, and man, like you gotta find purpose and fulfillment in what you do. Like it may not be the end all be all, but like if it doesn't challenge you, if it doesn't feel like you're doing meaningful work, like what's the point? You
Exactly.
gotta love what you do. Like some answer. Well, what are you doing it for?
I think you mentioned it right there too. It's got to challenge you. I think a lot of people nowadays, and then we're young. I'm not saying we know everything, and we're
Far from it.
Wise. I mean, we're doing stupid things like this for views. I mean, we better get some views from that.
Better get some subscribers, man. That's
Bro,
what
I want to see a positive ROI, immediate return on investment for that. 2 or 3x at least, maybe 5x. But I think you nailed it on the head right there with like, it's got to challenge you. I think a lot of people are trying to find, it's so easy to look on social media, man, and be like, oh my gosh, this person just like started something and it was super easy and now they're set. It's like, I think we've lost a little bit of grit in our culture. And that's not to speak that, like, of course I like easy days. And then there are days where I feel like I'm not being challenged. And, that kind of wears on you. You're like, man, like I don't want to just be stuck in a routine that feels easy all the time.
Right.
You need
Stuck
to get
in
out.
a rut.
Yeah, exactly. So I think a lot of people don't take the time to try and challenge themselves. Something shouldn't be easy.
Well, you got to think about, like humans, like in general, even animals too. We like comfort. We like easy. You think about when I think of that, I think I enjoy trout fishing. Think of a trout. Like they're lazy.
Yeah.
Like they sit behind a rock that's flowing downstream and look upstream and wait for food to come downstream to them. You know what I mean? Like they will go upstream and chase food, but like they're lazy. They like comfort. They're gonna wait for stuff to come to them. It's kind of like we're kind
of like us.
Kind of like us. Like we want comfortability. Like we want
Things
easy,
that come
like,
downstream.
Yeah, we want. It's hard and takes a different mindset and personality to want to challenge yourself to get out of their comfort zone, because it's very easy to sit in there, myself included. Like it's very easy to sit somewhere where it's not challenging, or it doesn't require a lot of effort, and that's easy. But are you growing? Are you learning from that? Are you you don't feel like you don't grow or learn in the comfort zone. You gotta step outside of your comfort to grow and learn, which is tough.
What's one thing you think with Z-Beans that you're stepping out of your comfort zone with right now?
I would just say mainly like we talked about a little bit earlier, but learning something new, like how to do budgets, projections, taking that finance role. It's not something I've done or comfortable with. I had to I had to, you know, admit to myself and humble myself and say, like, this is something I don't know how to do. Okay, this is something I don't know how to do. What do I do next? Okay, I'm going to go find somebody, aka my dad, does that for a living. All right, how do you do what you do? Like, what do you think about? You know what I mean? It's like it takes a little bit of humility and pride to say, hey, I don't know how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really helped me as a person to grow, is saying, admitting, and humbling myself and be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, because it takes humility to be like, hey, I don't know how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a start. You know, you either can go find someone or you can like learn on your own. But like admitting, like, hey guys, like I don't know how to do this. Like I'll give it my fair shake. I'll try, but I'm just letting you guys know up front, I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna try my best and figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of growth in that. There's a lot of learning because you have to learn. If you don't know how to do it, you got to learn. You know, or pay someone to do it. So you either pay someone to do it or you learn how to do it. And you know, but just admitting like, hey, I don't know how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of humility and growth as a person to admit that, but also then there's opportunity in that to go learn how to do it or pay someone to do it, and then you learn as you're paying them to do it. You're learning how they did it, so you can maybe not pay them next time or you know do something. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of growth in that. I think that's just working with Z-Beans and the Rolling Men is challenging me as a person, a human, to hey, learn new things, but also you know, and also just step outside your comfort zone. Like I don't like to be center of attention. I don't like to.
Yeah.
You know, this right here is, you know, being on camera, speaking, like that's, I'd rather just listen to somebody else or let somebody else, you know, like it's just stepping out of your comfort zone is, you know, there's growth in that. So just that in general, you know, or going to work as a barista, you know.
Yeah, that's wild. Isn't it crazy that like 90% of getting better is just admitting that you don't know or that you have a problem?
Yeah.
If you just do that, you're like well over halfway there.
Take a risk.
Yeah.
Take a chance.
I mean, that's what
start. You know,
that's kind of what we're doing with like the spicy food challenge. Is like, you know, I film videos, and typically the videos that I used to film with you know corporate clients. I mean, they're not like super exciting. They're they're corporate videos that are more like commercial based kind of deals.
right?
But
Promo type.
Exactly. And so one thing kind of getting out of my comfort zone with this quarter's rock was like come up with 5 completely unrelated, unique, creative ideas to like generate, you know, just views. Because I've always made commercials and stuff like that for, you know, to be an advertisement for something or whatever. TV
but someone's gave you a lead way of like, hey, I want something like this. You kind of put your creative swing on it.
And believe it or not, I don't like being in front of the camera either. It's just like, I guess it's one thing with like having cameras, you eventually just end up.
You're always behind it.
Yeah, you're always behind it, but then eventually you end up in front of it, I guess, in some capacity. So right. Today was one of those. So we got 3.
And the world's hottest espresso shot. Yeah. Man, come on.
That's a good video, man. You got to think about it. Like,
come on.
Well, we got 3 more video ideas. The first one we did was the blind taste test.
Yeah, how'd that go?
You can still do it.
I haven't seen that yet.
You need to do it.
I'd like to do that.
Shane Carter and Max did it, and they
I like to do that because I started.
And you, yeah. Sorry, I hadn't edited yours yet. Yeah,
I like.
She did the worst.
Oh. No, I tied with Shane.
Really?
You got 3 wrong. I think Shane got 2 wrong.
Well, Shane kind of. You taste testing coffee, right?
Yeah, it was just K-Cups.
Like it was funny because I mean, obviously not K-Cups, but. When we first came on, Shane made us. I never drink coffee, so Shane's like, "All right, you got to drink it black. You got to know what you're drinking." And so, like, you start learning, like, okay, what it tastes like. But it'd be interesting to see if I could do a little better. But
yeah,
I figure Shane would do pretty good. Drinks a lot of black coffee.
Yeah. Well, the problem was that there's 3 flavored coffees and then 4 unflavored, and so once you've had the flavored ones, I think I haven't done the taste test, so I don't know, but I think it mixes up the unflavored ones. Like it throws you, it's like a smoke screen, just throws you off the scent completely. Okay, you're nodding your head yes.
Mary Catherine agrees.
Yeah. And then we got 3 more video ideas this quarter.
Cool.
I don't know what they are yet, but we're working on them.
Hey, quarter's young.
Quarter's young?
Actually, no, we're a month in, so you're a third of the way through the quarter.
Yeah. So we're averaging about 2 a month right now.
Yeah. I probably put you behind schedule. I've had to reschedule a couple times.
What I'm really scared for is that the spicy stuff is going to do incredibly well.
Then you got to keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to have to keep bringing the spicy back, boy.
Oof.
On that note, I'll be using the restroom soon, so let's wrap it up here.
No, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Oh, sign off.
What do you mean?
What do you mean what I mean?
Brought to you by Perked Up, the world's hottest chocolate bar.
Yeah. See.
Just when you thought an espresso shot could not get any,
It wakes you up, boy.
could not kickstart your life anymore, put a little tab of chocolate in there from the world's hottest chocolate bar.
Yeah.
When you need a kickstart in your life,
I feel okay right now. Not good. Okay.
yeah, I'm not looking forward to what's to come
Yeah.
after this, you know?
Oh boy.
Did you tell him about the review
But hey, you consume at your own risk.
that you read?
Yeah.
Oh, a review of this?
Let me read that review. Can you hear me my phone?
The world's
I
hottest
can- I
chocolate
can
bar?
reach it. I don't know why I
It's
had-
about the same. Further from
I'm just excited to see if you do a counter for how many times I said,
Let's see.
pack your hand, be the man, Dan. That was just motivation for us, you know?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find
You gotta do a tally for him on how many times he said boy.
Time tight,
Let's see.
win the fight.
let me
That's
see.
the new one I kind of coined there.
I want to find this this review. Hottest chocolate. I'll read this and then we'll sign off. Here.
There we go.
I found the listing for the world's hottest chocolate bar. Let's see if I can find the review.
Was it pretty wild?
Yeah,
It was funny.
he read it to me against my will.
See all.
Very
Okay.
descriptive.
It didn't say pack your hand, be the man, Dan.
That'd be great.
Let's see. Okay. I'm trying to find.
Probably said something about if you're going to be dumb, you better be tough.
Yeah, it was. It's pretty close to what it
I'm on the
was.
edge of my seat waiting for you to find this.
I mean, there's a lot of reviews. Okay.
Here we are. Come on.
Raymond Jones. It's a verified purchase.
Thank you, Mr. Raymond Jones.
Yeah. I don't know, like what it's like our product. It's not our product
Yeah,
at all.
it's not a problem, but I appreciate
5
you.
stars. Pure hell, all caps. Oh.
Did he consume the whole thing, did it say?
Let's find out. I ordered these as a gag gift for my family to try at Thanksgiving. I will say they don't always deliver through Amazon, as I got mine through USPS, standard mail, which means that they didn't get delivery instructions. Anyway, I cannot describe the levels of hell this put me through. It looks so innocent and small. It smells good and feels like good milk chocolate. But I had one of the tiny squares and so did my cousin. He threw up within 20 seconds. I ended up laying over the sink with ice cubes melting out of my mouth. The pain didn't stop. It kept punishing me for half an hour. After that, my stomach gurgled and burgled like thunder before a bad storm. I couldn't eat for the rest of the day. At work, I had to fight from throwing up with every quick move. Turning too fast caused the hellish fire sludge to shake in my bowels.
Oh my gosh.
I felt it being digested. I could feel where it was inside me, and with every inch downwards it moved, the more scared I became for the future bathroom meeting. It burned like Dante's Inferno going in, but nobody warned me about it coming out. My bottom ring of fire would have put Johnny Cash to shame. I limped like Lieutenant Dan after getting new legs from the bathroom. It felt like burning napalm or Greek fire, just a hellish stream of burn that wouldn't subside, even when I had left the toilet. It continued for what seemed like hours. Farts felt like opening a hot oven door.
Oh my gosh.
The only relief I got was to stick a baby wipe covered in tallow between my cheeks.
Golly.
All the comments have been about how horrible moments of eating this Jekyll and Hyde piece of candy. And don't get me wrong, it was the absolute hottest thing I've ever consumed in my life. But the aftermath shouldn't be overlooked, and be prepared to battle for your life.
Well, he only did a tab. We did 2 apiece.
Cheers to that. It's an honor and pleasure serving with you, sir.
Gotta be dumb, you better be tough.
Yeah, gonna be dumb, better be tough. Remember that. Signing off. That was good.